Yes, okay, so I'm going to ask the team to start cloning Jared, please, if you can. I don't know how long that process is going to take, but we need another version of him. Why? Because I got to welcome you to the Culinary Hotline. Bling! Ding, ding, ding. Got to have it with the base. It is a Wednesday, and you know what that means. Delicious, feel-good recipes coming your way, and we are leveling up today. On the menu, we've got something truly special. A chocolate cake, but probably the best chocolate cake any of us have ever tasted. Not just any chocolate cake. This will be one made by none other than award-winning pastry chef Jared Melamed. And I love the fact that when you play in the French pastry aisle, you are dealing with the most modern cusp of the culinary arts, and then our own cloned Jared. Are you going to be as good as the first version of Jared? Because he was pretty good, man.
I think you can do better than me.
Oh, really?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
First of all, we love you, Guy. And I was just explaining to our viewers, you've got a room full of viewers now joining us as well, and they are so grateful to have you here because French pastry, it's kind of the tip of the spear. I use that analogy a lot because it's where most of the, or a lot of the magic is happening right now.
Yeah.
But it also leans on centuries of compound knowledge.
Exactly.
What a beautiful space to play in. So that being said, no pressure when you start cooking a cake that's a couple of centuries old. So talk us through how we put this beauty together.
Okay.
You said not quite a chocolate cake, almost drifting into another lane.
For me, this is, so French love chocolate and they love any cake. So for me, this is probably the best chocolate cake I've ever had. And I'm privileged to make because it comes from an 18th century palace called it's actually where Marie Antoinette lived with King Louis XVI, and they were, beheaded outside this from Place de la Concorde. So this is the hotel where it comes from, and that used to be their home, and this cake has been on the Hotel de Crayons offering for ages, and when you taste it, it's a texture bomb.
Would it be crass to say, let them eat cake?
There we go.
It would be a little bit. It would be a little bit. Now is your chance to ask Jared any questions. He is here for you. Please join in on the discussion. You can WhatsApp any questions you have, 063-036-9649. You can even place some orders if you want. No, we're not selling directly from the kitchen. You can go to his beautiful establishment, but let's dive right in. Where do we begin?
So we're going to go in with, we're going to melt our butter, our chocolate, and our sugar all in the double boiler. You can do it in a microwave too.
Okay, wow.
So if you don't have a double boiler, just pop it in, but do it like 30 minutes at a time. 30 seconds at a time.
Sure.
30 minutes, you're going to have rocks. 30 seconds at a time, just make sure it's melted. Once we finish that process, we're going to start adding eggs.
Okay.
So do you want to help me? Do you want to do this with me?
I'm here for you, my friend.
You're my sous chef.
I'm here. Unfortunately, there's a ban against cloning me, so this is all you got, dude. This is all you got. But what do you need from me?
So we're going to go in with our butter. So I'm sure the guys are going to give you, well, the viewers, the recipe. I think that's the plan. So if we can get this cake or this tart into homes in South Africa, we're winning.
Champion, yeah. And you can go to expressoshow.com to cook along with us right now.
Exactly.
And please do, man. Don't be intimidated.
Don't be.
All of it.
All of it.
Take it.
And then to make it easy at home, you can chop the chocolate with a knife, but we have time on the show, so we're going to do it like this. We're just going to wing it, huh?
What is key here when you are playing with something that has been tried and tested by the best pâtissiers in the world? How do you improve on that? How do you make it, or do you?
It's consistency. You've got to know your craft. You have to be committed to your craft and follow recipes. That's the truth. Especially in French pastry, if you cut corners,
it's just not going to happen.
You're going to see the skid marks on the road, you know? That's the truth. So be true to yourself and understand the process.
That being said, what then differentiates you? How do you start to set yourself apart, as you have now within the ecosystem?
Keep pushing. Just keep pushing the limits. And be a sponge, no matter what. Just be a sponge. You're never too old or too clever or too good to learn.
It just looks so beautiful, man. I love it. So
we're gonna turn this into a nice emulsion. We're going to get this down. Just watch, it's hot, huh? If you burn me, I hope you have a first aid kit. Huh?
We'll just make another one of you, dude. Now that we know we can, dude. We might actually keep you in the cold room. Yeah.
Let's just make desserts all day.
We joke about, taking orders, but at some point we're going to find a row of cars or food trucks or something. And I've been talking about us doing our own little food truck festival because we play in the space where I think we break down the stigma around cooking, and especially baking, where it is a bit more intimidating because you've got to play by the rules. And I think that does scare a lot of people. But there is something beautiful. It's like playing jazz. You earn the right to then play.
Correct.
Does it feel like that to you, that you've got to pay your dues before you can start kind of tweaking the big boys?
I think before you start playing with recipes, understand what you're playing with, Does that make any sense?
Yeah,
Like before you start changing something, make sure you can understand it. And if you change something, make sure it's for the better.
There we go.
Don't just change it for the sake of adding pepper or salt. You know, if you add salt, make sure it makes the dish better.
And that's your palate.
Yes, well, exactly.
And that's okay. You're allowed to have your palate and what you love and what you like.
Exactly. I agree with you 100%. If you like something, do it.
Oh, man. I'm so excited about what's coming. This is the most beautiful, as Carl always said, unctuous mixture developing in the bowl here. Why is it essential to do this? What is this going to bring to the overall effect?
So we want to... This cake is... It's like... If South Africans can't go to France, we're going to bring France to South Africans. This cake, the French love chocolate. And anything with a chocolate tort or cake, a gâteau de chocolate is their favorite. So this is why I wanted to give it to you. And we melt down the chocolate and the sugar just so we can incorporate those eggs into it. Because it's flourless, and I've given this recipe to you guys on purpose, because Cape Townians are gluten-free, let's be honest. Everyone's gluten-free, yeah.
Gluten-free, UV-free.
Exactly.
It's what we like, man.
So I've given this, and I think it's simple, but it's all about ratios, this dessert. It's all ratios. So there's a specific amount of eggs that make it a bit custardy. There's a specific amount of sugar, and the butter is 227 to 227. So it's 1 to 1. It's quite on paper difficult, but when you do the process
once
like this,
you actually break it down,
it's easy.
Is that the key? Because you've got to take. I mean, you've got a production line to run. We were joking about it earlier.
Yeah.
As much as, yes, you are a purist and a traditionalist, which is a beautiful thing, you've still got a business to run, and you've got to fit in the lines when you are running your business. How many pressure points a day do you hit when you've got to create these things? I want to say en masse, but you've got to produce, man. Look, what's the toughest part of your day? We
produce a lot of desserts a week. We're doing over 1,000 desserts a week. I do consulting at the same time for some big establishments, you know, and when my staff and I, and there's 3 of us, so myself included, we have to push out these numbers. It's quite scary. Not only to push out the numbers, but to be consistent at it.
I was going to say, because there can't be one mistake, right?
No, and if there is, like I'm walking through, we have a section like this, and I walk through and I'm watching everything before we send out. It's got to be perfect. There's like a whole production line, and it's fresh. We don't freeze anything. It's on the day or for the next day. So you always have to be so observant and on the ball. If you have too many coffees, something can happen. You miss something. Even if it's a little speck, for me, it's not good enough.
And completely, because I suppose it's the most unforgiving space. It's kind of like, you know, I heard someone say that being a hairdresser, for instance, is high pressure because you're stepping into someone else's personal space, into what they love the most, what they revere. And when it comes to classic music, when it comes to classic food, the French, you know that you're playing with something that is sacrosanct.
Exactly.
Well, that is looking amazing. Can we just put it in a mug and drink it?
I'd love to, yeah.
Hey?
We're going to end up with diabetes and high cholesterol.
No worries, I worked with Willie Harcourt-Coos, who was...
amazing.
I was there with the revolution, the cacao revolution, and he would literally make, with kind of raw cacao, just about, or like 90%, make a hot chocolate in the morning, but a dark chocolate, egg and chili, just absolutely beautiful flavors. And I like the fact that you can get quite nuanced for something that has been around for so long. So that's looking amazing. I am that guy who will always want to move ahead. How do you know it's ready to add the egg? What are you looking for specifically now?
We are actually looking for, we don't want to see lumps of butter. As you can see, it's ready to go.
Looks beautiful, man.
You can still see the sugar because it hasn't melted. We're going to take this off. It'll burn a little bit because that's okay. Let's get this off the heat.
Dude, for an award-winning, the best in the land pastry chef, you are like the most chilled-out brother that we've ever had in this kitchen, dude. Does that help? Does this facade ever drop?
No, it actually doesn't. I'm very chilled. I'm down to earth. I know where I come from, and I know where I'm going, so I just like to be in the kitchen and make stunning desserts, you know. And South Africans deserve it, so let's do it.
Thank you for saying that,
We deserve it.
Our consumers have had a hard ride, eh?
Yeah.
They really have. And I love the fact that you say it like that.
Wool shouldn't be pulled over their eyes.
Yeah.
I'm going to give the best, and I hope they appreciate it as the best.
But you better appreciate it. Well, at least if you're eating in store, you better show your appreciation. Let's turn this little stove off here before we then have to actually clone you because we've run out of the original. Okay, now incorporate the eggs.
So I don't trust eggs in the morning.
Okay.
I just don't. It's been a story of my life. I don't play with eggs in the morning. After 12, I can crack eggs.
Okay.
So you are on the eggs, okay?
All right. Now, I don't trust eggs, man. What's not
They
to
roll
trust?
out of your hand, they fall, they have their own life in the morning. So that's the story.
And I just...
Just go gooi them in one at a time. And we're going to do the eggs one at a time just to incorporate.
Okay.
This chocolate might be a bit hot, so as you're going in, just temper. Otherwise, we're going to have scrambled eggs.
All right, so as we temper, and I'm
Otherwise,
being
you're going to raise
cognizant.
mine, eh?
I know, I can see. No, I promise you, he doesn't have a temper. We're going to push his buttons all morning. We're going to poke the bear, and I don't think we're going to get a reaction. This is coming together beautifully. We've added our first egg, and we are tempering. We are just taking our time with this, little baby steps forward so we can get to a royal result at the end. A cake that is fit for a king and a queen because you deserve it.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Hey, Mzansi, welcome back. Your Feel Good Breakfast Show. And if you're feeling hungry, then you've come to the right place because we're back in the kitchen with Jared for part 2 of our famous Hotel de Crillon chocolate cake. I'm going to find out if I said that correctly right now. Jared, how am I doing with this one?
95%.
95? I'll take it, bro.
Hotel de Crillon.
Say it again?
Hotel de Crillon.
Hotel de Crillon.
That's it.
All right, this is like in the throat there, bro, where all the food should be going, and especially this. You mentioned it's not a cake, it's more like a tart, right?
It's such a combination of things. It's like a cake, it's more of a tart, it's like a brownie, it's spongy, it's crispy.
Oh my goodness.
There's like textures that the mouth doesn't even know exist.
And I think because you've made it the way you have, I think calling it any of those things is actually going to disrespect it. So we've got to come up with like our own South African name for this because we brought it all the way from France, right, to South Africa, and we've got a South African making it. So we're going to come up with a name soon. For now, though, a reminder, come through with some questions. This is the Culinary Hotline playing at the same time, and Jared is a pastry master. Our number is 063 036 9649. Yeah, I'm getting good at this one. It's a new number, bro. Apologies.
I've saved it. I'm going to be asking questions every day now.
Come through. So listen, how do we make this, bro? What's happening and what are we looking at right there? Have you prepared that beforehand?
So me and Graham were doing this prior.
I was wondering why his teeth were so dirty this morning.
He's been licking the spoon, eh? So I've added the eggs. Ryle, what we're going to do now is we're going to add some fleur de sel, salt. So we're just going to add a pinch of salt.
What did you say there?
Fleur de sel.
Fleur de sel.
Yeah, it's a special type of French salt, but it's the same. It's very similar to like kosher salt.
Oh, it's an actual... Hang on, I need to talk to you about this because I'm big in the salt game right now. I started off with like iodated salt, moved over to crystal Himalayan salt.
Okay.
I'm on the saltic salt buzz now at the moment. I didn't know this was an option, so I'm going to definitely dive into that. How would you describe it? Also flaky?
So kosher salt, like Malden salt.
Okay,
Similar. Oh, basically the same. And then you have fleur de sel, which is a French type of... It's similar to this, but more finer.
Okay, I got you.
More finer.
Hey, and I didn't know that salt had such an impact on recipes. When you talk about the finer things, this is starting to make sense. But let me not distract you.
Especially in chocolate, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yes,
it just brings out, it just makes it pop a bit. So we're just going to add a little bit more salt.
All right.
Give it a mix.
Nice.
Then, Ryle, you adding some vanilla.
Ooh.
So generally, I would go with a nice vanilla paste, but we have nice essence, so we'll do that, no problem.
So I can say that I actually made this.
Just a little bit, huh?
Just a tinge.
More. That's it. Perfect.
Right,
Now you can give that a mix, Ryle. I'll make you work now, huh?
Make me work.
Make you work.
Make me earn this thing.
Exactly.
And we folding this? Do I need to be aggressive? Is there any
this
technique
thing is
to this?
sturdy as the hills, so just bang it.
Okay, so we can go ham at this.
Yeah,
we can call this a pre-workout. Get the biceps busted here. Get some calories going. And what are we looking for in terms of texture? Is this kind of like it?
Like a smooth ribbon effect. So if you lift your spatula and then do that, you see how it makes a ribbon at the bottom there.
Oh, is this? I thought you guys were just showing off little pizzazz. There's actually method to the madness.
Exactly,
okay.
Yeah. That's how you know it's hydrated enough, there's enough liquids, and not too much.
Nice.
Now we're ready, Raul. So what we're going to do is we're going to take cocoa powder.
Uh-huh.
Dude, you're going to literally dust the heck out of this.
What's the reason for that?
So we don't want this to stick. Hold on, we're going to put it through the sieve.
Oh, of course.
And then
actual chef tools.
I've sprayed it, so you can go mad. I want the sides too. So you're going to have to get a lot in there.
Okay, so get the sides, get the corners.
Exactly.
Get all the
This
angles.
is a kitchen. Let's get dirty. Yeah?
Yes.
And we're going to bang it out anyway, so we'll just tap it out in the sink if we can.
All right.
Sorry about
how
the
my
kitchen.
sides looking? No, don't
So
worry about
we're
that.
going to do this.
I often stay late after the show to clean this kitchen every session. So
We're going to do this.
I should have said that out loud.
You're
People
lying.
are going to come for me, be like, how dare you?
You're lying.
How dare you? That was a lie, Jared.
Yes.
I literally just steal the food and run out of here and pretend like I made it. Go show off to my friends.
There we go. Huh?
So that's what we're looking like.
That's it.
So don't have to put as much cocoa powder in that I did. You just have to lay it quite finely.
It's fine. It's perfect.
And we're on to the next step. So can I move this out the way so we can see what we're doing?
There we go.
Gosh, you're trusting me a lot,
I trust
Jared.
you, Raul.
Gosh,
Let's
okay.
do it, huh?
So we're popping this in?
You can't mess it up now. It's done.
Can I like pour it in, or what's the best technique here? Just
Pour
like,
it in. Pour it in.
Drizzle it in.
Yeah.
Ooh, I feel like there's so much pressure here when I have
There's
a
nothing, huh?
pastry aficionado specialist
There's nothing.
watching over you.
There's no pressure.
I'm waiting for you to like shout some Gordon Ramsay words to me, like, no, how can you do that?
They'll ban the show.
Jared, you've got a couple peeps working under you. Obviously, I'm sure you're sharing your skill set that you've learned across the globe. Do you find it quite enjoyable to hand the baton over? Almost like pass on that experience? Or was it quite a tricky process for you?
I've got 2 staff members, and they've been with me from the beginning.
Yeah.
The one was a waiter, and I trained him, and
Nice.
I'm very proud of him. He had no cooking experience in the kitchen.
Oh, really?
And now he's banging out some of the best French desserts I've ever seen, you know.
Nice.
And he's still learning, and he's always asking questions, which is great. And then I have another lady who's on the same level. She was a helper in a house, and she's helping me now, and she's also come a long way. And they do well, and I'd like to give back. So maybe in the future, I want to start doing maybe like a school.
Oh, man.
That's a while to
That
come.
would be awesome. If you are going to start that, you got to let us know so we can showcase that.
Yeah,
And
I'd
maybe we can be a part of the process
Love
as
to,
well.
yeah.
Finding out some of your competitors. We turn it into a show
Let's
even,
do
bro.
it, you know.
Eh?
I'd love to do
I
that.
would-
Just
I
give
think-
back, you know.
Yeah. Listen, I think it is quite a sentiment because it's one thing, obviously, learning these things and being a South African that's traveling across the globe, but to share it, to get creative, I think it forces you to stay on the pulse with what you are doing.
Sure.
I needed to interject because I was intentionally planning to keep some of that so I could have it later, but I see you did still leave some in the bowl, so thank you, Jared, for
Go
doing
for
that.
it, huh?
I will try to keep a little bit more, but explain to me what just happened now. So we finished off that process, you popped it into the oven.
Yeah.
What's the heat and time?
So we're going to do 160 in a preheated oven for 1 hour and 10 minutes. So what I would normally do, but we don't have it here, and it's not a big deal. I would get like a Bain Marie or something like that,
Yeah.
or a Chafington, and I'd fill it halfway with water. Then I'd pop that pan with the batter in into that, so it comes up halfway of the actual cake pan. So it gives it an equal cook.
So distributing the
Yes,
heat a lot
exactly.
better.
So there's no if there's hot spots in the oven, it avoids that. And then
okay.
it comes out like ultra cremo, like super gourmand and creamy and just delicious.
Well, that's a conundrum that you've actually solved for me, and often something I repeat to Mzansi, because I'm always saying, like, listen, keep an eye on it, because ovens are different and they have these hot spots and stuff, but that's such a beautiful hack. That makes absolute sense.
Yeah.
I love that.
Especially with cheesecake. Sorry, Raul. You wet your cloth like this, and then you wrap it around your whatever your cheesecake's baking.
Oh, and then the liquid inside there obviously
it just
absorbs the heat and then it distributes evenly again.
Exactly.
Hey, Jared, wealth of knowledge. You're not just a pretty face. Eh? Well, you've done the liberty of waking up super early, clearly, and preparing this. But apparently we have to wait until the next session to tuck into it, because 100%. I was asking everyone, guys, can I eat it? Can I eat it? Everyone's like, no, we want to take pictures first. We want to show off with it first. So I'm just going to stare at that until the next session comes through. We'll be back in the kitchen. But wow, dude, it looks incredible. You're making pastries, you're making tarts, cakes, so easy. It often is overwhelming for me, but I think this is what it's about. You're getting us excited, and you're giving us the extra reason to get to Le Tarte, because this is the stuff that you're serving up, then I think there's going to be a long line at your restaurant, bro.
Well,
incredible.
This is the thing, Raul. You know, I didn't want to give something that's not easily done by the home viewer. So we give something simple but extremely elegant and chic and sophisticated and chocolatey.
You gave us a gift, Jared, and I'm going to grab that gift and hold on to it for the rest. Zanzi, a lot to still look forward to. Obviously, we're going to dive into part 3 of this with Jared and finish off all this incredible cuisine. But for now, though, G-Man, what's happening on your side, bro?
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to the Culinary Hotline. Bling! Ting, ting, ting. I like the bass this morning, so a little bit earlier. Our resident patissier, I don't know if this is the 4th cloned copy of Jared we've got this morning, but we're going to keep one for ourselves. But he made and at least showed us, took us through a masterclass on how to make his delicious Hotel de Crillon chocolate cake. We've butchered the name all morning, and we're going to butcher the cake as we put it into our mouths, because it's amazing. Buddy, thank you so much for, I think, demystifying a part of the French traditional baking style that I think intimidates a lot of people. So that's beautiful, and it's come out spectacular. Are you happy? Would you be happy with this?
I'm super happy. It's a very rustic gâteau.
Yeah.
And when you taste it, you'll see what I mean by sophisticated and chic, and flavors really come through. I've gone and added a little cultured cream, which is creme fraiche. Added a bit of vanilla paste, no sugar. So it's basically just like a creme fouettée. It's just a whipped cream that I've just slightly whipped. And we're going to put it on. I'm going to cut you guys a slice, and you're going to tell me yay or nay.
Oh, and I have a feeling we know what it's going to be like. And of course, we put it to you guys if you've got any questions. And I think the voice notes have been coming through. So let's hear one right now. Let's see if we can stump this genius.
Good morning, Expresso Live.
Good morning.
Good morning, Chef Jared.
Morning.
I would like to ask Chef Jared a question, please.
Uh-huh.
I would like to make an eggless chocolate cake. Can you please tell me the alternative I would use for eggs in the recipe?
Sure.
Thank you so
Aquafaba.
much. And thank you for the exciting show. I look forward to it every morning.
Oh, we love
Thank you.
Oh,
Take care.
Bye. Bye.
And she was quite serious about
Yeah.
that. Aquafaba.
I thought I was in trouble.
Yeah, I know. But it's, people take their baking seriously on this
Yeah.
show. You don't understand. Millions of people tune in just to watch you.
Give
do
me
this.
an eggless chocolate cake.
I like that.
I like it too.
And is that a simple? So how would you employ that? How would you use it in the cake?
So there's many things you can use, like albumin, or Albu-Whip, which comes. Albumin is in eggs. It's in egg whites.
Okay.
That's actually one of the components that make
That
it frothy.
gives it the whippiness.
So you can get stuff like Albu-Whip by Sosa, and it's Sosa is owned by Valrhona. It's one of the biggest chocolate companies in the world, and they have a lot of technical agents like this that I actually use in my kitchen daily, whether it's pectin X58 or pectin NH.
The science of
Yes,
yeah.
or gelling agents, agar, and there's a lot. So Albu-Whip is one of the things you can use, you can incorporate. Otherwise, I would say for eggless, as I said, Aquafaba.
Easy peasy.
It might not taste like
100. But
but there's a substitute for everything. Except I wouldn't go there because I'm traditionally.
we know you're a purist and it's all right.
Yes, eggs, cream, butter, that's the way.
It's fine. And we got Pauline weighing in, hopefully not quite as serious. Now, Pauline, what have you got to say?
Good morning. My question to Jared is, what is your best chocolate to use for pastries? Thank you. Bye.
Pauline.
now, this feels like a spicy question.
Yeah, it is spicy. So my best chocolate to use would probably be either Cocoa Barry,
Okay.
which is owned by Calibet. It's just the higher range. Or I would use Valrhona. They're on the pricier side of things, but it justifies the price when you taste it.
You get the results.
Yes, exactly.
We've got a beautiful mushrooming kind of, I suppose, artisanal ecosystem emerging in South Africa. How close to the international level are we here? Can you get the kind of stuff that you would need to do it at your level here?
Yes, you can. It
Wow.
depends on your supply chain. It depends on your suppliers. I'm very fickle. If I order something and a supplier sends me, if I order A and a supplier sends me B, my staff leave the kitchen.
Yeah, you see, now you've been infected by our serious caller now. Suddenly
Yeah.
you're so angry. But that's about as tough as Jared gets, by the way. That's his angry face right there.
But I don't compromise on quality, and that's why
can't,
some of
yeah.
my product is quite a bit more expensive. But it's because of the produce I use, whether it's French cream or French butter or T55 flour from France. I do use a lot of local, but there's just some things I cannot use locally because our wheat is very different here. The climate is different, so there's a lot of our import.
One taste justifies it all. Let's hear from Ryan. What questions do you have, my friend?
Hi, Chef. My name is Ryan from Bloemfontein.
Hi, Ryan.
And I wanted to ask, what is the best way of baking or using chocolate in baking without it seizing?
Without it seizing, or what's the danger when working with chocolate? You use words like temper, that sort of stuff. Yeah, what is the kind of shaky ground when it comes to baking? with
For me, I always try and incorporate chocolate into liquids. That's why they say mix your wet, mix your dry, but if you're putting it all together, there's nothing that liquefies that chocolate. So it is going to seize, as Ryan says. So I'd say just incorporate it into your recipe. Follow recipes. On every single recipe it says, either melt your butter down with your chocolate or melt your cream and your chocolate together, or melt your water and your chocolate together. So that's getting your chocolate
liquefy.
Exactly.
Okay, wet with wet, dry with dry.
Correct.
I love that. Okay, we digress. Can we finish this cake?
Let's do
and
it.
Taste
please,
this.
because I can actually smell it. I can smell this one. My taste buds are going.
Where's
hello.
yours though? I've got mine. Where's yours? All right.
Okay. And the beauty of this cake, Graham, is it'll hold for 10 to 13 days in your fridge.
Wow.
10 to 13 days. It can even sit on your counter for that long.
And this would have mattered a couple of centuries ago.
Well, this is it, eh?
You would have needed to be able to bake like that.
For sure.
I often think of how unforgiving it would have been. Can you imagine back then in a French summer cooking for a king when you know that you could be beheaded if something went wrong? You know, now we understand why chefs deal with the pressure that they do. All right, let's see what this baby looks like. And it's got a beautiful, you can just see by the cut texture there.
I'd like to actually clean that so we can get a second cut so you see that smoothness.
There is always
a cloth.
a cloth.
Perfect. Sorry, I'm gonna.
It's
I'm
all
gonna-
right.
I'm gonna kill
I'll do
this
the hand
cloth.
washing myself.
Oh, yeah, I'll help you. How's that?
There we go. And that's why, so why would you do that?
I
to get a
just
clean
want. I
cut?
just want to show this clean cut here.
Why would you cut this cake without me?
I'm
you
sorry,
thought you
dude.
could do this without
I thought
me.
we could sneak past.
No ways. Oh, Jared, honestly, I must say thank you for coming through and doing this.
Pleasure.
It feels like G and I are sharing a birthday right now.
You're about to taste the birthday.
It's quite magical, and I think it's not lost on Ryle and I how special it is to connect with
do that.
creatives in your space, in your moments of becoming. And it kind of feels like you have entered that phase now where you have license and agency to really go in the directions that you want to go, which is amazing. So thank you so much for pouring
Pleasure.
so much back into the spaces around you.
Pleasure.
I mean, we were talking to Kurt just now about creating those structures, but it means we need a purist somewhere in the middle of that to hold this dear, to have the passion,
Yeah.
to have the love for it. And clearly, dude, that is that's your jumping off point,
Yeah.
which is beautiful, man. So thank you
Thank
for
you
sharing
very
that
much.
with us.
Wow.
Look at that, even the little quenelle there or whatever that is of
Yes,
that
bro.
is just amazing. How do we ching, bro? I got
No,
to
you
ching
really
that.
have to. It's
Cheers,
ching
bro.
ching of the
Bon
occasion.
appetit,
Bon
man.
appetit.
Thank you so much,
Oh.
my friend.
Okay, this
So
is the taste
excited.
test. Eh?
So excited.
Cheers, bro. Happy fasting, buddy.
You see the different textures and the smoothness that hits you.
Bro, there's a crumble somewhere.
Yeah.
There's a ooey gooiness somewhere.
And then it just melts away.
Yes, exactly. Dissipates. It's gone. How's that? How's that for a cake, eh?
Albeit I haven't had sugar in like 24 hours, so
my
that
word.
might be influencing me slightly,
But-
but this is phenomenal. And it's so light.
Yeah.
It's not overly rich, yet it's decadent
Yeah.
at the same time.
Come
that
on,
is
bro.
amazing,
You have
buddy.
done magic.
No, but be honest. Have you ever had a cake like that?
No.
No, so it'll either have one of the textures only.
Yeah, exactly.
You've combined so many experiences
Yeah.
into one. That's what I'm loving about this. And can we just talk about this? The way it pairs so well. It balances. It's not too sweet, like you said, G. It's not too overpowering. It's just perfect. Thank
Getting
you.
a little
thank you, thank
emotional
you.
about this cake, bro. I never thought I'd get to that
Wow.
point in my life. No, I think it's your story and the passion that you pour in, my brother. That is
Yeah.
absolutely amazing. Roll up your sleeves. So we're going to dive into another episode right now of something creative, yes, but maybe a little bit more hands-on and practical. The pros at
Like it.
Timbold CSB in Springs are ready to share why Plascon Micatex is their go-to choice for those tough, long-lasting protection in the spaces that need to stand up. Take a look.